Cheers to the first time making homemade cornbread from scratch using maple syrup instead of sugar. All right, you guys, so I am making homemade vegan chili and homemade vegan cornbread. I have never made chili before, not even when I used to eat meat. And I've never made homemade cornbread before either. The only cornbread I ever made was from the Jiffy box, so this is a whole new experience for me. So I'm starting by making my own tomato sauce. I fell in love with the way my homemade tomato sauce turned out when I made spaghetti with you guys a few weeks ago. So I just kind of wanted to keep it going. If you do decide to make your own spaghetti sauce, tomato sauce, whatever you want to call it, you're going to need a lot of bell peppers. I think I ended up using about 6 bell peppers. And what I'm going to do is roast them along with some tomatoes and onions. So you're also going to need a lot of tomatoes. I chose to use vine tomatoes, and I used a lot. And when you're roasting these, you don't have to cut them into small pieces or anything like that because you're going to end up blending. So, I just sliced all of my vegetables just to make it simple. And yeah. So once I have all of my vegetables cut up and in my pans, I am adding some avocado oil, and I'm also going to season my vegetables. So I'm using some Italian seasoning, some onion powder, just like my standard, some white pepper, whatever you like to season your stuff with. And you're also going to end up seasoning when you make the actual soup or whatever it is that you're cooking. I'm also using some cumin, and yeah. So I'm just giving everything a good mix, and it's actually going to sit in the oven on 300 degrees Fahrenheit for 3 hours, roasting and getting all flavorful. right, now that my veggies are all roasted, it smells absolutely delicious in this kitchen. I am going to blend everything. So I'm just transferring all of the veggies from the Pyrex dish to my blender. All right, so it is time to make the cornbread. I'm gonna start with 1 cup of yellow cornmeal and 1 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. By the way, I'm combining the dry ingredients first, and then I'll mix in the wet ingredients. And the recipe is also saying to use sugar. I don't use sugar, so I'm gonna end up using maple syrup. I also added in 1 tablespoon of baking powder. So for my wet ingredients, I'm going to be using 1 1/4 cup of soy milk along with my maple syrup replacement. I started off with 5 or 6 tablespoons of maple syrup, and then I whisked together all of my dry ingredients before adding in my wet ingredients. I'm also going to add in 1/3 cup of avocado oil into my wet ingredients mix. And then I'm just going to, once I mix everything up, I'm going to slowly pour in the wet ingredients while mixing like so. All right, so I'm going to line my bread tin, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna line that with some parchment paper, and I'm going to stick it all in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about 30 minutes. All right, so while my cornbread is cooking, I'm going to get started on the actual chili, the vegan chili. So I'm gonna cut up some veggies. I did a 1/2 stalk of celery, and I'm also cutting up a bell pepper. I'm also gonna cut up some more onions. All right, so in my pot, I'm going to add some avocado oil along with some of my minced garlic, and then I'm going to add my veggies and let it cook. I'm gonna add some of my favorite seasonings. I'm gonna add some cumin, some onion powder, a lot of chili powder, and some Italian seasoning, and let's see what else I added. Some celery seed. going to give all of that a good mix. And then I'm going to add in some mushrooms. Next, I'm going to add in 2 cans of pinto beans. The pinto beans are full of protein and they're so delicious. You guys, the food smells amazing, by the way. I just want to highlight how good it smells. Oh my gosh. All right, so once my veggies are cooked, I'm going to add in my homemade tomato sauce that you guys seen me make earlier. And I'm just gonna kind of add until I feel like it's enough for the pot. All right, I'm also gonna let this cook down, but before I do, I'm going to add a little bit of tomato paste, and I'm going to make sure that I have the food seasoned to my liking. And yeah, I'm gonna put the lid on it and let it do its thing. All right, you guys, the cornbread is finally done and it smells delicious. It looks like cornbread. Oh my gosh, look how pretty it looks, you guys. I did that. I cannot wait to taste it. All right, so my chili is done. It smells and looks amazing. I had some chickpea noodles that were already cooked and I didn't want them to go bad, so I just kind of made it more like a spaghetti, and I'm putting my chili over the chickpea noodles. All right, you guys, are you ready to taste? Everything smells absolutely delicious. So I added some chickpea noodles just because I had some already in the fridge and I didn't want them to go bad. So this is more of like a vegan spaghetti. So let's taste it, shall we? All right. You guys, it smells amazing. Cheers to clean, healthy eating. This is full of protein from the chickpea noodles, the pinto beans. It smells amazing. Okay, here we go. Wow. Y'all, I did this sauce. Oh my gosh. Here. Look, my dog think I'm talking to him. I'm talking to my YouTube family, Brody. Here, you guys, take a bite. Look at that. Look at that. It looks so good. It tastes so good. Oh my gosh. Absolutely delicious. Okay. I am excited to taste this cornbread. So you guys saw I used maple syrup instead of sugar. The recipe called for sugar, but I don't cook with sugar. I always use maple syrup for my sweetening agent. All right, so the texture is definitely giving like Jiffy cornbread. Like it looks like regular cornbread, right? Okay, just wanted to confirm. Here we go. I've never made cornbread before either, by the way. I've always done like Jiffy. So, and one other thing too, the recipe said 30 minutes in the oven, but it definitely took a good 45 to make sure that when I stuck the knife in, no residue was coming off of it. So, all right, here we go. Cheers to the first time making homemade cornbread from scratch using maple syrup instead of sugar. Oh. So the texture is right. There's no sugar. It's not enough sugar, you guys. Okay. Not to worry. I'm still gonna eat it, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have to put a little maple syrup on this and heat it up. Because, and you know what's crazy? I think I put a lot of sugar in the batter. Like before I put it in the oven, I tasted the batter to make sure that it was sweet and to my liking, and it was. I don't know where the sugar went. I'm not sure where the sweetening went. Yeah, there's no sugar here. I don't taste it. So maybe triple the amount of maple syrup I used. Again, I'm still gonna eat it, but what I'm going to have to do is drizzle some maple syrup on this because I can't eat it like this. Like it doesn't, yeah, there's no sugar. I don't know what happened to the sugar, but it's not there. But the texture is right. The texture is right. Like it does resemble that of like Jiffy cornbread. Like that, all that's right. But there's no sugar on this, so my bad. But it's okay. You know, every time we make something, I might not always like it. I'm always tell the truth. And it is what it is. Next time I make it, it'll have sugar. All right, you guys, thank y'all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you check out my other cooking videos right here. And I will see you in my next YouTube video. Bye.